Aloha, friends and neighbors. Welcome to program 1015 of Astrology, Ancient Science in the Modern World. I got some very interesting things to show you this week. Enlightening things. We're going to cover the third week in May 2016. Let's get to it. The Sky Mirror is a tool for you to use to plan your next week. Yes, we have the pattern of planets here. Drawn it all out for you. And then we run the moon around the edge, and that gives us angles to the different planetary bodies. These are really just people, you know. And that gives us the mood of the times. Well, what kind of news have I got for you? First of all, Mercury's going to go direct, on May 22nd at 3:21 a.m. That's Sunday. So you wake up Sunday morning on the 22nd, Mercury's going forward. Your mind should be cool. The wind should calm down. Understanding the meaning of words. Mercury was the messenger, and he's the one that invented these letters and numbers. Yes, things have got us pretty tied up, huh? Anyway, the neat thing about Mercury stopping on the 22nd, there he is that he's stopping here in trine to Jupiter. And Jupiter stopped on the 9th of May. Mercury stopping here on the 22nd. And when Mercury trines Jupiter, what you get is truth and wisdom, and it just pops out. It's so easy. It's hard to understand. Why didn't I see that clear before? Well, Jupiter does that. He's the lawyer professor. This is Jove, Jupiter. They throw lightning bolts of truth. Shazam, says Jove, says the lawyer, and the jury says, oh, now we see it clear. Shazam, says the professor, and the students say, oh, now we understand. That's Jupiter, the great benefic, huh? The crescent of people over the cross of matter. Jupiter cares about fleshed beings. What else is important? Well, you've still got this nasty T-square. Jupiter's still squared by Saturn and opposed by Neptune. But look at who that is. There's Pluto. Pluto is discovery, especially things that are very hidden. He likes to dig out the hidden things. That's Sherlock Holmes. He's in trine to Jupiter, the truth lightning bolt guy, and in trine to Mercury. Discovery is what I call him. So the lawyers and discovery are going to come out in words, and you're going to have a wonderful week of truths. Yeah. Let's check it out day by day. We're going to run the moon around the edge. And if you're on a Thursday show, the moon's in Leo. And you started off being very organized Thursday, the 12th. And then you got into trouble with the square to Mercury. And you better get all those things done. Because it's retrograde. You won't. You'll have to go places twice. You could lose things. Mercury's being an imp here. Thursday night, not so hot. Sorry. And here's Venus in square. Real late Thursday night, early Friday morning. No peace, no quiet, no sweets. Sorry. But here's some enlightenment. Here's the trine to Uranus. Yes, here's higher sciences, ancient sciences. I got some things to share with you. So I hope you're watching the Friday show. No sense trying to do things. The moon squares the sun here in the middle of Friday. Your plans won't go through. Nope. Leo, huh? Pooey. Mr. Trump is a Leo, trumpeting Leo. Moon shifts into Virgo here just before dinner on Friday the 13th. No, I don't put any... the 13th Friday, just calendar mishmash. And our calendar has been messed around lots of times. It's not like the Mayans, Anyway, it's Friday the 13th. You won't get nothing done. Check out your internet news in the morning. Moon shifts into Virgo after dinner Friday. and you start to feel those lightning bolts of truth. Saturday morning on the 14th, well, there's a square to Mars. Everybody's impatient. They're impatient and angry, you know. Yeah, Mars, he's no fun. And he's kind of confused. He's squaring Neptune, so angriness and confusion in the morning. You'll finally get a break on the whole thing here about Saturday afternoon early. You're in the Jupiter zone. Hooray! Lightning bolts of truth. But, you know, there's a couple of problems. It starts with an opposition to Neptune. Confusion and delusion around dinner time. Yeah. And then an hour or so later, even less, maybe 5-10 minutes later, you get truth and wisdom and lightning bolts. And then, another 5-10 minutes later or an hour later, you get the square to Saturn. It says, this is against all the rules. Yes, it is. Sunday morning, get up early. There's a trine to Pluto discovery shows. You're going to find in this next month that an awful lot of the stuff you've been taught isn't true. Somebody emailed me, it's Matt, and he said, listen, he quoted somebody, half of the scientific studies are wrong. And I got to tell you, all the stuff they taught in school, all the history, all of it, geez, it's like somebody made it up, fairy tales. I'm disgusted. It took me a lot of years to unlearn the stuff they taught me in school. You got to get rid of a lot of old information that's brainwashed you. So Sunday morning's a good time to do it. Moon goes by the North Node here just before lunch, and there's a lot of nurturing around. It's a pretty good Sunday. There's a trine to the Sun late Sunday night, about 10 o'clock or so on the 15th, and you can make some real plans. Monday morning, the Moon shifts into Libra, and here's a nice sextile to Mars. Feel like a hero? Get up, go to work. It's nice. Moon in early Libra. It continues right through Tuesday morning. You get up Tuesday morning, here's a sextile to Saturn. I'm organized. I'm following the rules. I'm careful not to go over the line. Well, for all that carefulness, so here comes the interruptions and the jitters. It's worked from Wednesday back into Tuesday now. Starts with the square to Pluto. Around dinner time, Tuesday the 17th, eek, a bug. Feeling of panic. Territoriality. Makes you feel alone. Feeling of aloneness goes right through midnight into 2-3 o'clock in the morning, Wednesday morning, the 18th. Now on the 18th, the moon's still in Libra. You're going to feel still a little shocky all day due to that Uranus-Pluto thing Tuesday night. Slips into Wednesday morning, and the power goes out. The cable TV is out. Eek! Well, Wednesday night after dinner, the moon goes into Scorpio. All the vibes change again. It's pretty nice. Actually, on Thursday night, here's a nice trine to Neptune. There's higher heart, music, art. A sextile to Jupiter. Truth and wisdom comes out. Not bad. Here's a problem. It's the opposition to Mercury. Friday morning, the 20th. Now, Mercury hasn't gone forward yet. So this imp could really mess with you. You could lose your keys. You could go places twice. It really happens 4 or 5 in the morning, Friday the 20th of May. So, don't get up too early. Don't expect things to go really well Friday morning. Transportation, communication problems. And as you go into Friday night, here's opposition to Venus. And there's no sweets and there's no goodies. And you don't want to be with somebody you love. Saturday morning early, you're on the full moon. Mom and Dad are arguing. The moon's in early Sagittarius. You're in the Mars zone. Yeah, goes by Mars. The afternoon of Saturday the 21st. So you're on a full moon day Saturday. You're hitting the Mars trip. Venus is objecting. She's not happy. Pretty messed up Saturday, really. Doesn't get much better either. As you go into Sunday morning, here's on the 22nd, here's a square to Jupiter. It's all too loud. Square to Neptune, confusion, delusion. Everybody's lying. And finally there's this conjunction to Saturn, judge them all. You know, kill them all, let God sort them out kind of crap. There's Sunday the 22nd. If I was going to pick the best time to be with somebody I loved, probably, if I was going to ask her out, it would be the Sunday. Sunday's pretty sweet. The 15th. And Monday the heroes are out. It's a pretty good time there, Sunday, Monday. But wisdom, truth, and learning, not a bad week considering, you know, we got Mercury trine Jupiter, trine Pluto, discovery. Boy, I got some discovery to share with you. Check some of this out. Haha. First of all, I discovered how to get paperbacks and stuff on Amazon really cheap. You know, $3. Why did I buy this one? Well, a lot of the so-called astrologers that talk about the Mayan stuff quote Friar Diego de Landa. And I was kind of interested to see what he was like. I'm not too impressed with his picture there, huh? But he's the guy that really was the leader of the disasters for the Mayans. And interesting thing, lo and behold, in the introduction, they gave his birth date. So, of course, I did his chart. Now, we don't have his exact time. So when you don't have somebody's time, what you do is you put the sun right on the rising sign like he was born at sunrise. Here's the sun, the last degree of Scorpio. A Scorpio dude, huh? Well, he was a cause of a lot of death and stuff. And the sun squares Chiron. He doesn't want to help. His father wasn't a helper. Here he is, a friar, and he's neurotic and crazy about not helping. He's got a square to Chiron. He phonies it up. Oh, I'm helping you. Off with his head. You got to, you know, that was a common excuse the Spaniards used to, you know, burn you at the stake. You burn the devil out of you kind of stuff. So, you know, that's the first thing. I didn't like that too much because Chiron is a wonderful planet, and having it in square to your sun, not so hot. But look at the rest of this chart. It's what we're called a grand cross. Yeah, bang, 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 bang. Oppositions galore. Here's the moon over here with Uranus. Poor Friar Diego never had a mother. He had substitute mothers. His emotional self is a cripple. He's crippled emotionally from his experiences with these ladies and interruptions in his mothering. Poor guy never got the breast, that's for sure. What's this up here? Here's Mars up at the very top of the chart. He's a warrior. Mars opposes Saturn. What's he do? He puts people out of their homes. And what's this? There's a square from Mars. It's like exact. Mars is at 19 degrees, 33 minutes of Virgo. Here's Mercury, 19 degrees, 53 minutes of Sag. An exact square. You know, he talks rough. He burns things. What's he burn? He burns books. Yeah. And homes. And this is one of the nastiest charts I've ever seen. Yeah. He's got bad siblings, too. You say he's a friar, he's a religious man. Here's Neptune. What is Neptune doing here? Squares his moon, squares Uranus. There's a problem with enlightenment. Neptune square Uranus. He couldn't find any. Music sounds crazy. There's no spiritual rest for this man in the higher mind or the higher heart. This guy's crazy. How sad. Well, sad for the Mayans, wasn't it? And the only planet here that has any decent aspects to it turns out to be Pluto, which sextiles Saturn and trines Mars, and this guy gets honored for, you know, being the executioner. Whew, well, I expected I didn't quite expect he'd be this crazy and this evil. But then, he burned every book he could get a hold of. He tortured, he burned, he killed. This guy was personally responsible for wiping out what he saw as the devil's work. Those books, those codices, those ephemeruses, burn them out, burn them out. It's not much of a book, so you can go through it kind of quick. He does, I wouldn't recommend you read this guy. He's a devil. All right. Are you a religious person? Well, I hope you are, because I give you a chance here to meet your father. What is this? It's the little bugs. Oh, it's flying termites. He is buzzing around up here on these. Well, that's Pluto, see? Yes, another omen from Pluto. So what's the no shadow day all about? It's when the sun is directly overhead, and if you put a stick in the ground, I usually hang a pipe, a piece of half-inch pipe. And the sun directly overhead goes right down through the pipe, makes no shadow. They put up maypoles, they called them. When the local pope heard about the Mayans and the Aztecs celebrating no shadow day, everybody came with fruits and vegetables and had a big party, and they had ribbons on the pole, danced around the pole. It was a very cool thing. In Egypt, they had these big tall spires as a Washington Monument. You know what that really is? That's a gadget to be able to tell when the sun gets to the no shadow. They're all over Egypt. You could see it from all sides. This is a pyramid, of course. We're going to talk a lot about pyramids today. Boy, have I got some new information. So, but this is a personal thing for you. Now, what happens is the sun moves up and hits this no shadow place, starting in the south, down at the tip of the Big Island. And by the time it gets to the middle of the Big Island, which is Kona and Hilo, which come in at 19 degrees 39 minutes, it's going to be important. You'll watch. This whole thing at 19 degrees 40 is a big deal. And that's where Kona is. And Hilo is right there too. And what happens? Well, the sun comes directly overhead on the 17th. Mark it on your calendar. This happens at 12:21 in Kona and in Hilo. It's always best to try to measure it if you can. I still got my favorite pipe that I hang up, and I watch the little circle through the pipe. And so to me, this is the most special day there can be, because the sun's directly overhead. You know what? So is the Pleiades. The Pleiades turns out to be very important. The Pleiades is directly overhead about 12:31. So here's a 10-minute period when Father, God as you know it, comes to visit, sit in a nice place, put some flowers around a seat. When it comes to no shadow, pretend you have your invisible Father there. Say, "Hello, Father," and talk to him. He's there. You'd be shocked. He really is. Now he moves. This is the middle of the Big Island here on the 17th. If you live in Waimea, Kamuela, it's the 19th. If you're halfway in between, it's the 18th. If you're down in Kauai, it's the 15th. If you're in Captain Cook, it's the 16th. If you're in Kona Hilo, it's the 17th. But it's always at 12:30 roughly. Now I've calculated these times for you very closely, and I've added the Pleiades for a very important reason. That's what makes the Great Pyramids famous, is the sun and the Pleiades together. So, May 19th in Waimea and Kamuela. Also, Honeka'a and Kauai Harbor area. These are the latitudes. They're very close. So it's pretty much the same. 12:19 p.m. 19 minutes after noon. The sun is at no shadow. Now you'll feel it coming up 10 minutes before. It'll peak out then and it'll go down. It's a brief visit, but you know, God is a busy man. What do you expect? Suppose you're on Maui. Okay, here we are. We're over in Kahului, and it's at 20 degrees north, 54. So Father comes to visit on May 24th at 12:23. Write it down. The sun's directly overhead. That's what the meaning of Lahaina, by the way, Lahaina. Lahaina noon is when the sun comes. The Hawaiians knew about this. The Hawaiians had these great big tall towers, 40, 50 feet high. You know, and you could see stars up through these things. And they were exactly vertical. And so they knew when the no shadow day happened. It was a big deal for Mayans, Aztecs, Hawaiians, a lot of people like that. But you know what? They didn't really invent this. They inherited this knowledge. Anyway, if you're on Maui, 24th, Kahalu, Molokai, Kona Kakai, it's at 21 north, 06, so you get it the next day, May 25th. At 12:25 is the sun, 12:06 the Pleiades starts. Why am I telling you about the Pleiades? I don't know. But I know it could be important. It's very important at Teotihuacan and Chichen Itza. Those are both there at 19 degrees 40 minutes, which is when the sun comes to no shadow, and with the Pleiades is there too. So you got the sun on Pleiades and having no shadow. That's like God has got the Pleiades wrapped around his head, and Father, the God, comes to visit. Oh boy, leaves me breathless. Suppose you're in Honolulu. Honolulu's at 21 north, 19. No shadow is on the 26th of May, 12:29 p.m. The sun is at no shadow. They're a little different, see, because the way they set the time zones. And 12:04 is when the Pleiades happens, if you're in Honolulu. If you move halfway across the island, you're up in Waihiwa. Well, in Waihiwa, you're at 21:30, and it's May 27th at 12:30 exactly. The sun's at no shadow. Post to post. No, I hang a pipe is the best way to do it. So there's no question about it being exactly vertical. Finally, if you're on Kauai, if you're in Lahui, you're at 21 degrees north, 59 minutes. It's May 30th. Hanapepe, Kaloa, Kaloa's at 21:54. They're all pretty much the same here. So you're going to catch it at May 30th at 12:35 p.m. for the sun at no shadow. 11:54 for the Pleiades. Did you write this down? I hope you did. You only have a chance once a year to try this out. If you want to find some real religion, if you really want to talk with God, your Father, just like Jesus or Muhammad or any of these people have, this is the time to do it. Yes, in Kona Hilo, it's the 17th. Waimea the 19th. Maui the 24th. And Kahului. Kona Kakai the 25th. Honolulu the 26th. Waihiwa the 27th. Kauai the 30th. These dates. Now these dates always aren't the same exact every year. And you can understand why, because we have this thing called leap year, where every 4 years the calendar makes a 1 day click. And you put an extra day in February. So these dates wander a little bit. But did you write them down? Go off and be by yourself. Go out in the backyard. Go out on the deck. Don't let anybody be around. You got to talk out loud to Spirit. You have to say out loud, "Hello, Father," and bang, you'll be there in your head. I've done it. I guarantee it. Okay, I got this amazing book. I'll show you. They're talking about pyramids, And what you notice is May 19th. I got it on my Kindle. Pyramids Around the World. Wow, what a book. Cost me $2, I think. And the guy who wrote it turns out to be the new guru of pyramids. Man, did he open up my eyes. Here's some background. We already knew that the Pleiades was over Hawaii when the Hawaiians got here. And from studies in the Maya, you know, the Pleiades, that's a big thing. But lately, here we got all this new knowledge about pyramids. And what happened? Well, the Egyptian pyramids are Orion's belt. Then we found Teotihuacan, where I'm going. The Mexican pyramids, they're the same thing, Orion's belt. And then there's Chinese, big pyramids there, also set up like Orion's belt. Next we found out that the Egyptian pyramid has a crease. It's only 1 inch. But what it does is that when the equinox happens, it's this way, and then a minute later it's this way. And everybody can see exactly when the equinox is. Turns out, according to that book, that all the pyramids that are north-south do this too. Now, next thing we know, I see a guy on TV with a big, huge 3-foot stone ball, perfectly round, in Bosnia. And turns out there's a huge pyramid in Bosnia. Yes. And besides Cholula, Mexico, and China and Bosnia, there are new giant pyramids around. The guy who did this, Semir Osmanagish. They call him Dr. Sam, but you've got to get the whole Semir Osmanagish. Google it. There's 2.5 minute or 2.5 hour videos there that will really light your fire. Now you know what? These are much older than we thought. Yeah, some of this stuff goes back 30,000 years. Oh boy. 30,000 years. Then I realized we got a pyramid here. It's called Mauna Loa. And I had that epiphany, so I did the chart. I said, whoa, could this be true? And look, here's Mercury, Pluto, Jupiter in a big pyramid. Ha, 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 ha. Yes, you can do a chart of an idea, too. Anyway, the thing about the Bosnia guy is he's a total hero. Try him out. I wondered how astrology could develop so soon by Egyptians. Well, it didn't. There was an older civilization 30,000 years ago. Semir Osmanagish proved it. Wow.